Hello there friends, Nintendo just held their E3 2021 Nintendo Direct, and they nailed it. I'm sure it's been an insanely difficult year for game development because, like, doing regular things in COVID times is hard. Never mind adding all the distancing and work from home measures to the already difficult nature of game development. But it's really cool to see Nintendo and Microsoft both show up to E3 and both have really good showings. This was one of those Nintendo E3s where it's just like, hey, you know all those games you keep going on about? We have a bunch of them for once. Not all of them, poor F-Zero fans, but a lot of them. So let's go through it, some of the highlights before I go into the 5 things that excited me most. There are a bunch of third-party games coming to Switch. The Life is Strange collection and the new game is coming to Switch. Guardians of the Galaxy is coming to Switch on October 26th. And call me conspiratorial, but I am dubious about the degree to which that game can run on Switch without, say, perhaps, a Switch hardware improvement between now and then. Is Guardians of the Galaxy proof of a Switch Pro? Who knows? They didn't mention it here though, so they just said it's coming to Switch. I assumed it would be like the cloud version, but it wasn't. Which again, Switch Pro, clearly. Or it's just a downgraded version. But either way, Guardians of the Galaxy coming October 26th to Switch. Monkey Ball Banana Mania is like a compilation or collection of a bunch of Monkey Ball games, October 28th. Mario Party Superstars, October 29th. Again, a bunch of Mario Party mini games thrown together into a collection similar to the one released on 3DS. Most importantly though, all those games are supported with online play, which probably makes the addition of online play to Super Mario Party make a lot more sense now. They just did it for the Mario Party game they're about to release, and we're like, well, we should just put it in the Mario Party game we already have, right? And they did. Shin Megami Tensei 5 got a release date, November 12th. Looks really cool. Danganronpa have a bunch of ports. It's a 4-in-1 game. It was a really solid showing. And again, when you can list like a bunch of cool stuff that's not like the things that I'm really most interested coming out of it, that means you got a good E3 presentation there, Nintendo. Let's go through the top 5 though, starting with number 5. Kazuya from Tekken coming to Smash. A Tekken character finally being added to Smash. Well, we had Heihachi as I think it's a Mii costume, right? But it was always weird, like Bandai Namco are the people that make this game, and they have Pac-Man in there, but you're like, surely you can put a Tekken character in there, right? Just as a nice little reward for, you know, making Smash Bros. And finally they did indeed put Kazuya Mishami into Smash, Star of Tekken. I haven't played a Tekken game since the PS1. I would have played a lot of Tekken 1, 2, and 3, but then not a ton of Tekken after that. So at least they picked a character I'd be familiar with from the games I played. It was a nice little trailer where we was dropping people off the mountain into the volcano, particularly dropping franchises people like off the mountain into the volcano, perhaps F-Zero or Kid Icarus, which are still nowhere to be seen these days. Sakurai's big showcase of Kazuya will be coming June 28th, so you can look forward to that for the utterly charming, usually like 40-minute showcases of Sakurai going into like intricate detail of this character. They're always the best. Number 4, a big surprise, because a bunch of the other stuff I'm going to talk about either leaked in one way or another, or were speculated about, or were expected. But number 4, Advance Wars 1 and 2 are getting remade. That is completely out of nowhere, but very welcome. Advance Wars 1 and 2 Reboot Camp coming on December 3rd, and it has this kind of like, I don't know, toy box aesthetic. The feeling that these are like more like playthings, and I think that's kind of cool. It's a unique way to take it. But like Advance Wars has been missing for so long. Like the last time we got an Advance Wars title of any kind, not even remakes, was 2008 on the Nintendo DS. So hopefully this is the sign that they will eventually be making a new one. I assume it's intelligent systems behind it, but so welcome and so surprised. I don't think anybody particularly predicted that Advance Wars would be here. Everyone thought like Nintendo would give it up on it, and that Fire Emblem was their go-to strategy franchise these days after that kind of took off following Fire Emblem Awakening. But Advance Wars, it's back, and it's coming this year. That's cool. Speaking of cool, number 3, WarioWare. WarioWare's back. The best weird collection of games you could ever possibly fathom. WarioWare Get It Together is releasing September 10th, which is actually shockingly soon. That's like 3 months away. We're getting a new WarioWare game. The big hook this time, it's 2-player. You can play in co-op. All the characters have their own like mini-game powers, so you can play the same mini-games with the different WarioWare characters, and they'll have different abilities, and you can solve the WarioWare puzzles? No, they're micro games, but could you call them puzzles? I guess they are also micro puzzles, but you can solve them in different ways with different characters, which seems like a really neat idea. And it's just cool to see WarioWare, because again, WarioWare is another franchise we have not seen in a very long time, at least not a new one, because we had WarioWare Gold released on 3DS, which was a compilation game of the best minigames, and then we had Game & Wario on the Wii U, which was kind of a WarioWare game, but not really. And then you have to go all the way back to WarioWare DIY, again on the DS, for the last new WarioWare game. So very cool, coming September 10th. And it just looks like more WarioWare with cool new ideas, again with multiplayer things. I'm so interested to see, do they use like the IR camera and stuff like that to get like really weird in the same way that the brain training game did. But WarioWare, coming September 10th. Number 2, speaking of games that haven't had new releases in a very long time, Metroid Dread, the 5th game in the Metroid series, long teased, and I think it was Metroid Prime 3. There was a little slide in there that like said Metroid Dread is approaching completion, and that was a lie, because that was like 15 years ago. We got Samus Returns in 2017, so at least it hasn't been that long since a new 2D Metroid, but getting a brand new 2D Metroid, developed by Mercury Steam again, is very, very, very exciting. And again, another franchise just being dug up. This was one of those E3s where it's like, there's a bunch of things people want, and we're going to give it to them for once. Metroid Dread comes out October 8th, so Nintendo really filled out their year with Mario Party, with Metroid, with WarioWare. They already had Skyward Sword, Mario Golf. They have Shin Megami Tensei coming, and Advance Wars. So there's a lot of cool stuff coming from Nintendo for the rest of the year. And of course, as anticipated by pretty much everybody in the world, their big one more thing, their main event was Breath of the Wild 2. Which, it looks so good. I'm so excited for it. The big hook appears to be that whatever powerful evil force is lifting the ground out and shooting it up into the sky, so that you're basically playing above Hyrule as much as you're playing on Hyrule. Link seems to have new powers. He can like phase through solid objects and slow down time. It just looks like they took the first game and they have built on it and created something even cooler and newer, and it looks very pretty, and Link looks like a wild man, and I can't wait. I can't wait for Breath of the Wild 2. They said a 2022 release, so we'll still have to wait for a little more. And this was like, it wasn't the longest trailer in the world. It was more of a teaser, but they did show like gameplay, so at least you got a decent look at it. It wasn't just the cinematic like last time. I'm going to be combing over that trailer over and over again for the next few days, looking at the small details. We finally know what the game looks like, and have some semblance of when it's coming out. Even if, based on past releases of Zelda games, maybe that 2022 release they might not hold, but hopefully it will. So yeah, very strong E3 showing from Nintendo. There's a lot of stuff people were very excited for, people were looking forward to for a long time, or hoping for, like Metroid, like Breath of the Wild 2 footage, like WarioWare, like Advance Wars. Their upcoming development slate looks pretty promising. Even if there's no Switch Pro yet. I know they said they wouldn't announce hardware here, but I thought they might like announce the presentation in which they will announce the Switch Pro, but they didn't do that either. So we may be waiting a little longer to finally hear of the much rumored Switch Pro, which I want to be revealed now, more just so people will shut up about it than I actually want to see it. But we'll get there eventually. That's Nintendo Showcase. Again, up there at Microsoft, it's just a really strong showing. And the Nintendo Direct format, they have it down to a T, as opposed to some of these where they're kind of still bumbling around or doing like 15-minute gameplay showcases in one game. Nintendo's like 2-minute trailer, move on, 2-minute trailer, move on, headlines, boom, 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 boom. So even if there's something you're not super into, even if like, I don't like Super Monkey Ball, which you're wrong, it's Super Monkey Ball rules. At least if you don't like Super Monkey Ball, it's on to Mario Party, it's on to Life is Strange, it's on to all sorts of things that you can get excited about. There's something in there for everybody, as they said at one stage. That's E3, we're all done. You know, it's a weird year, it's COVID, it's not easy for game development to make games, but I think all in all, there's a lot of cool stuff coming out of E3 and a lot of stuff to be excited for. And that is literally all you can ask for. Thank you so much for watching. If you like all of these E3 recaps, all of these E3 reaction videos, hit subscribe. It wouldn't hurt. On your left, my recap of Microsoft. On your right, my recap of Square Enix. Thanks for watching, and bye-bye.